every culture, there are practices that exist for which those societies celebrate life cycle transitions, perpetuate community cohesion, or transmit traditional values to successive generations. Uganda has a legal framework for child protection, but many children are still abused. They are sexually, physically, and emotionally abused all the time, and in most cases with impunity. The violence and abuses takes place in all settings: homes, schools, the communities in which they live, on the road, and institutions where they socialize or pray. These abuses range from cultural practices and constructive community norms and values. These affect child survival because they infringe on their rights. The abuses have caused many children to drop out of school. Although others persist, their performance declines, while those who insist remain in psychological and mental torture.
Some children have been beaten seriously. Some of them ran away from home. They're in the street up to now. Some parents give children many works to do.
So they start talking about you whenever there is anything. Though it's your friend who has done it, she just tells you that it's you who has done it. Then they even start bringing up stories which you have not done. They talk about you, your family, where you come from.
In this research, we talked to 20 primary school teachers and 135 pupils from 4 primary schools in Wakiso and Kampala districts. The choice of sample was based on urban and rural setup. The children in the urban setup experience violence differently compared to those living in a rural setting. At Good Times Primary School, Ngalamye in Nangabo Sub-County, Wakiso District, the pupils say they experience violence at home, along the way, and while at school.
He goes there to drink alcohol. He spend money from there, and the child sit at home. He tells a child, dig and you get school fees.
And the mother starts working only one. For example, when she's a teacher, they don't pay in time. And she get loans. When the loans she can't pay in time, and they can arrest her. And the child do not get school fees in time. Kola ne jajja wange nga ntunda amandazi kuba mulwadde asobole okufuna ssente okugenda mu ddwaliro.
Kati bw'oba obikola ddi ssaawa y'okusoma obeera ludda wa?
Mbeera ku ssomero. Anti baatuleetera omukozi yagakanda n'agasiika nze ne ndeeta ne ngatunda.
I want you to tell me, what had you done when you were punished?
Beera nga ntuuse leeti.
What makes you come late?
Emirimu gy'ewaka giba mingi. Bankuba nti nali nzannyira mu kiraasi nga njogerera mu kiraasi. Ye bankuba.
Kati ekyo kyakutaataaganya kitya mu kusoma?
Nga nti omusomesa nga paying attention. Nga siwaayo answer nga ntuula kutuuzaawo nsirisi. Biyinza okukulinnya nga katugeze ng'oli mu ssomero ne bikulinnya ne bigamba nti neera bazadde bo tebaatuuka eyo gy'oli naawe tolina kusoma P7 kati katugeze ng'omugenda kukola prep.
The teachers and school head teachers say that there are practices, cultural norms and violations which hinder them from attending school.
The side of those children, for us as teachers, we can make them to ignore the school or to drop out of the school in the way that some teachers we are harsh. You can abuse a child, telling a child what you know about their home.
Side of the slow learners, there are those slow learners that they need a little bit of counseling, and you may find that the teachers are not doing it to them.
The girls, for them, they have a chance of going and marry. But for the boys, they remained home, making bricks, go in mining, stones. But the girls, for them, they get early marriage.
There must be communication. If you communicate well to these pupils, they also respond in the appropriate way. Sometimes these pupils become stubborn because the teacher is so rigid. He doesn't want to understand the situation.
Being a teacher, I should give the punishment, because if I don't give the punishment, this child will not know that what he or she has done, it is wrong.
Kyambogo Primary School is located in Banda, Nakawa Division, Kampala District. The pupils here come from a relatively urban setup. They narrate their experiences on issues that affect them.
People used to say that the men are the head of the family, and it was affecting the girls, whereby girls were not going to school and the girls were denied the right to go to school.
When your parents die and you remain alone with that, there's no someone to take care of you. You go to there will be nothing for you to eat. You go to the neighbors, they start abusing you and neither.
There was a very culture. They circumcise girls before marriage.
Bad peer groups like of girls can tell you that let us go to boys and get money.
Teachers from Kyambogo Primary School explained that in an urban setup, the children are not accustomed to traditions of their society, although society tends to hold them accountable to some cultural beliefs, norms and values.
And there is also, we have some children who are parents, like they take care of themselves, they take care of the family.
There are some societies which still look at the girl child as somebody who should not go for education. And in most cases, they remain at home to carry babies, they remain at home to do domestic work, seasonal functions. Like when I take an example of my sisters from Valley, there is a season for circumcision.
Separation of both parents. These days, it is too common. Mommy has left daddy, has got married to another man.
Some hindrances, like if a child went to a school where they only say English is the only language that should be used at school. If this child has just come from the village, maybe the child is in P3.
The pupils at Naguru Katale Primary School come from a very challenging environment, Naguru slums. In their explanation, the pupils say they are more exposed to sexual violence, substance abuse, and peer influence.
Alcoholism, like when the parents, both of them drink, come back, fight, beat the children.
Cultural beliefs. Where I come from, Kapchora, some other clans believe that circumcising girls it is a part of getting also children married. But poverty can cause pain to me. For example, when the teacher tells us that next week we are going for a tour, and I tell my mother, oh my guardian, that the teacher say that next week we are going for a tour, and mommy say that I don't have money.
The previous year, there is a child who was raped, but she was from our school. The parents sent her to go and sell maize. She ended up, they got her when they've already raped her at Kololo.
These children emphasize that there is persistent sexual abuse.
Like the teachers, children, they start like bad touches by the teachers and pupils. You can see the girl can sit there
when the teacher calls you, you come on my desk, I want to tell you something. He or she starts telling you bad things that can put you in a mood.
They are not only teachers, even boys. Yes, they touch your private parts, even the buttocks. When the boys start touching your private parts, sometimes you feel good.
Other times when the boys touches the girls, even though the girls also feel good, you can lose concentration.
Meanwhile, the teaching staff at Nagurukatali Primary School fear that most of the violence against children are a result of the environment in which they live.
Sometimes the children are left alone to manage the home in the absence of both parents because one divorced and one is working very far.
Kampala schools begin on the first day, but in this school until the third week when you realize the full number of all the children.
One of it, the major thing is poverty. One colleague said that for them, they are always, I think the people who are taking care of these children, they consider them last. You find that they come from the same homes, but the parents decide to take their own to schools first and they don't study in the same schools. I had a boy in my class last year who was ever coming late, and there were two. He was a girl and a boy. But every time that girl was coming, the boy was coming earlier than the girl. Then I asked the girl that why is it that your brother is ever early in class and you are always coming late?
What?
Videos. That is another major one. And the dancing halls. The dancing halls. You find the girls here, they are going to tell you, teacher so and so is in the dancing group of Kasenke.
The pupils and teachers at Chireka Umea Primary School are aware of the challenges and solutions to the cultural norms and violations which hinder them from attending school.
When you have joined bad peer groups and you become pregnant,
your stepmothers tell you can't work, stop sleeping. When you're not the biological daughter of the person you have, she or he denies you school fees. When they don't give you food, you cannot come to school. You'll be hungry.
Some demons can attack you, like here, for example, at school, we have some of our friends. Maybe when you're studying, then you find that he's just and stop you, because in some girls you may find that when that person is in menstruation periods, she feels a lot of pain like stomach ache and headache. That may stop her from coming to school because she's sick.
Most of the children we have here in our school are dependent. They are not the real parents. So by not being the real parents of these children, they are giving them a lot of work, particularly in the school days. And by the time they think that they would have completed their work, it is too late to come to school.
Most of them, they sleep hungry. You find that a child who has slept hungry, who is in the state of being hunger, gets a problem in meeting schools here.
Because of the economic setting of our parents, which is very low, you find that some of the children have to move away from school here to look for something to eat. They will work. That is violating their rights as children.
Some of the pupils we have here move long distances from their homes, which makes them to deviate and go to and do other things.
Nevertheless, these children and teachers gave solutions to the problems they go through.
As I said, menstruation period. To avoid this, to avoid this is by providing pads. To make sure that every month the pads are provided, they are given.
Parents should always provide
children with basic needs like books, pens for school. When
in case children face violence at home, they can go to the police nearby and tell them.
These abuses can be eradicated, although the communities in which they are committed might be hostile and not willing to cooperate, especially local leaders, parents and guardians.
Hence, every child is entitled to enjoyment and full range of rights, including survival, development protection and participation rights. Children have a right to be safeguarded and protected from all forms of mistreatment, abuse, exploitation, neglect, and be accorded the highest quality of well-being possible.
The legal system also needs to clearly empower the communities to set up courts that handle cases of child abuse and violence against children, and at the same time strengthen local leadership to eradicate such social mischief.